6:01 on January 14th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For roll call, Mr. Burns.
Here.
Mr. Wade. Here. Ms. Fred.
Here.
Mr. Burrow here. Ms. Rotarius.
Here.
Mr. Eckert.
Here.
Ms. Smith is absent. We have 6 present.
Adoption of the agenda. Any additions,
We have no additions.
deletions?
Yes, we do have a deletion. Roman numeral 10, teacher contract. We are just going to move that to our regular meeting.
Any amendments?
Yes, I do have Mr. Spear going under communications. Is he available yet? Okay, no problem. So we're going to wait for Mr. Spear, but I do have him, I moved him under communications, so it depends on, obviously, when he's going to be zooming in with us, so when he's available, we will have him present to us on curriculum. But I was moving Mr. Spear to communications,
Is that the entire curriculum?
the curriculum portion,
The whole curriculum portion?
the curriculum portion except for the Michigan Virtual
Okay.
update. And, I'm sorry, so that was, and then amendment, also moving number 4, finance, the budget amendment, up to communications as well.
I'm sorry, what was it?
This is moving the budget amendment under finance, number 4.
Oh,
Budget amendment, we're gonna move it to communications. It was gonna be after the superintendent search update. But I will meet Kathy Merrifield at the table, and she's on her way, so.
Okay. Communications, radar recognition.
Okay. So for radar recognition, for this month's radar recognition, so when we have our board meeting this month, it will focus on recognizing additional fall varsity sports teams for their efforts and accomplishments throughout the season. This recognition highlights the time, commitment, and teamwork demonstrated by our student athletes and coaching staff. The recognition will be facilitated and organized by our athletic director, Zach Zimmerman. So coming up for at our meeting on Tuesday.
Okay. I continue on, right? Moving on to the board appreciation.
Yep, just an update there for you. This month is Board of Education Appreciation Month. Thank you to all of you here at Board of Education for your service to our students, staff, and community. In recognition of your service, the high school and the middle school student councils have invited you to a special dinner on Tuesday, January 20th at 5:45 in the high school cafeteria. So right before our board meeting, which again, publicly, want to make sure everybody out there listening, we moved our board meeting this month to Tuesday. So January 20th, the board meeting takes place at 6:30 in the high school auditorium, but prior to board, you were invited to a special dinner. Also, the Orchard Primary would be presenting something to you as well. They just haven't decided, I'm sorry, if it's going to be at the dinner or the board meeting, but the Orchard Primary would also like to recognize you in recognition of the Appreciation Month. Okay, that's it.
The superintendent search.
To my knowledge, Ms. Smith has that update unless somebody else on the board does. So I do not have that update.
Okay.
And I think we're still waiting on Mr. Spear. Okay, so we're gonna go and move to questions.
All right, questions and comments pertaining to the agenda in the audience? Anybody?
School? Anyone?
How about questions and comments from the board?
Mr. Eckert? Under the curriculum, it said curriculum guide, and I never saw a curriculum guide posted for us to review and approve for any of the schools.
Is that true?
That was not a board packet.
And where?
The guide is as well. Not the course, not the two courses, the guide itself, the curriculum guide from the high school. I don't think, there were no changes for middle school.
Oh, I didn't receive, I'm sorry, I didn't receive.
No, there were no changes for middle school, I'm telling you. The
Oh.
high school, though, it doesn't sound like the high school did not provide a copy to you.
Okay, because there are normally updates, and we get update pages, and there's usually an update even for the middle school, you know, because you update the dates and those sort of things, so anything that they make changes on, there's usually a page that shows, all right, these are the things that were being updated.
So even if it's just the dates for the years, you still receive that from the
That's what
curriculum
we've
guide?
always received, yeah.
Okay.
So,
I apologize for that, yeah, I apologize for that. I do know, again, the courses were being updated, the curriculum guide, I wasn't aware that that wasn't, I guess, shared with the board in the drive.
and I'll be honest, I mean, I looked for it, and then I forgot about it, so
It's okay,
I didn't,
yeah,
until I got here, and it's just like, oh, yeah, and then I started looking for it, and then I couldn't find it, so, but that does have to be approved before they go into scheduling.
yeah, sure, so,
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be on February. if not- Oh, don't apologize, no, it's not your, not on you. Nope, not on you, you wouldn't know that coming on you, Jill, that is not on you. So we will definitely get what we need and get that corrected for February. I do know, though, that we wanted to invite Principal Spear to talk about and discuss the new courses for high school, so we're waiting for the Zoom for that. So we can probably go to number 3 then.
So the plan then is the.
I'm sorry, curriculum guide will be February. I wasn't aware, even if there are no changes, that you have to see the middle school, whatever, to publish and get the 26, 27 curriculum guide approved then, even if it's a date change, so we will take care of that.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? No? Okay. Moving on, work session.
I'm sorry, the Michigan virtual?
So you're saying present new courses, we're waiting for Mr. Spear also.
1 and 2, well, number 2 we just talked about, well, number 2 curriculum guide would be moved to February. Yes, number 1, we're waiting for Mr. Spear. Number 3, I do have an update.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I thought we were on.
No worries.
Questions from the board.
No worries.
Okay, so number 3, Michigan virtual success failure rates.
Okay, so did receive this information from Mrs. Narad, our high school counselor, and for semester 1, 40 students were enrolled in Michigan virtual courses, 36 students passed, 4 students failed, so pass rate being 90%, our failure rate 10%. And just in light of that, just to take it a step further, just for, again, we have some newer board members here as well, that when our students fail and they want to re-enroll in a Michigan virtual course, there are check-ins that are mandatory, so there's like a 2-week trial to see if the students can get back on track. So the students are being monitored. There's a 2-week trial. Both Mrs. Narad and Mr. Denoyer checks in on their progress. So that is the update. Are there any questions there?
Mr. Eckert, not used to saying that, checking your name. With the Michigan virtual, if they fail the math course, then we have the right to deny them a math course. So if they take another type of a course, we can't deny that, but if they actually failed in a particular subject area, that can be denied, just to clarify.
Any other questions? Okay. Building and site, maintenance update.
Mr. Frederick?
On the 22nd, we were supposed to have our fire panel update. Unfortunately, the Bureau of Fire Services canceled at the last minute, but we did, however, have a representative from the Bureau of Construction Code here. So we did kind of a preliminary rough walk. One of the things that he pointed out was that, because we're updating the fire panel, there were certain other areas of the building that we have to update as well because we're bringing everything up to code. One of those was, back in, 87, 88, when the building was built, some of our exits, our fire exit signs, we need to add some to it. So I'm getting some prices as to, as far as adding, at certain intersections, right? It was adequate back then when they built it, but we need to add some. He said that would be something they would hit us with, even though that's not technically part of the fire panel. once I get those prices, we'll present, and then we're just gonna have to reschedule, for somebody that's actually familiar with fire services. For tennis quotes, I should have, a price, this Friday, on that, and then I'll pass that along to Mrs. Vaughn to pass along, and then also to, as far as the indoor walkthrough with the board, tentatively, plan on stealing your thunder.
No, that's why we talked today. No,
The,
just trying to get a date on the calendar.
February the proposed date is February the 25th from 5 to 6:30. So is that a Wednesday? I'll let you pass on that. So that is a proposed date for a walkthrough of the buildings.
That was the 25th.
Yes.
Does that work? Can everybody take a look at their calendars real quick, if you don't mind, while we're all at the table? Just helps for planning.
I am good for that date.
That works for me.
Yeah.
Excellent. What are the chances of that, Mr.
Wow.
Carter?
Get us going.
We'll take it. That's the win today.
Where would we be meeting?
We could meet at Florida Education entrance and then start the high school and then progress. And then-
You'll send, Ms. Vaughn, you'll send an email reminder.
Okay, we can send an invite. Jill send probably an invite.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yep. Jill will send a calendar invite to them, please. Thank you. And Mr. Frederick, I'm sorry, before, you mentioned signage, and I know you mentioned fire. Is there a way, speaking of signage, can we attempt to get bus loop, whatever you have in front of the Orchard Primary, could we get one for the middle school as well? There's been a couple of hiccups here
We can.
with the bus loop.
One thing to take into consideration for that is that while the bus loop at OP says buses only, there's not any parking out in front of OP. There's parking here. So how are we going to exclude people from coming into the bus loop when there's parking? I mean, it's just something to talk
No
about.
problem. Officer Retzler, I think he wanted to
Yeah.
chat with you as
Yeah.
well.
So, and,
Okay.
and I did see him and I brought that up.
Okay.
I said, Officer Wrestler, I said, unless we're gonna put some stakes and somebody throw a rope across it, you've got however many parking spots out there. that-
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So that might be something that we have to work around.
Okay.
Or maybe we could custom make some signs, that have the verbiage that
Yeah.
states that, during these times.
Yes,
possibly.
yeah, during hours, and I've seen that before.
So, but like anything, that's as good as whomever's reading.
I understand, yeah. Okay. There was just a couple concerned parents, they didn't see the signs, and so that has come to attention, so thank you, we'll
Yeah.
revisit that, thank you. And it sounds like Mr. Spear is on, so are you getting him on then, Colin? Okay.
So let's circle back to curriculum then.
Yes, please.
This is under communication, correct? So that it's not, we moved it up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Spear.
Mr. Spear, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Spear, you made it okay home?
I've been home for approximately 2 minutes, so thank you very much for allowing me to do this virtually so that I
That
could-
was one of the better decisions we made today then, to send you home so you could, have that 2-hour drive. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm glad that you're
Oh,
safe.
thank you.
No, thank you for joining us then. We appreciate it.
Of course, thank you for having me. Are we ready for me to get started about these curriculum guide
Yes,
changes?
please, yes. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Well, good evening, everybody. I won't keep you too long. Thanks for having me. We didn't do a whole lot of changes, but I did want to make sure we cover all of them. So the first thing that we noticed was that there were not 8th grade courses in the curriculum guide, so we did add them in there. We also added the FAFSA completion section as part of our Universal FAFSA Challenge grant that we received to stay in compliance with that. We updated descriptions to more accurately represent course content for Algebra 1, Biomedical Science, History of Sports, Guided Studies, and Links. And we did this by speaking to those teachers, having them take a look at the descriptions, and then they made those amendments and we added them with their help. We also changed a couple of course names. We changed Art 1 to 2D Art, with Ms. Wright's help to better match the course sequence for that and 3D art and then advanced art. And then we also changed the name of kitchen chemistry to kitchen science, just to more accurately reflect the course content. It's not necessarily all chemistry based. We wanted to be a little bit more robust about it. We added a couple of courses. We added jazz band and individual sports, which were already previously approved, and then we're hoping to add advanced chemistry and strength 8, which are ones that we're having you review at this time. The updated prerequisites that we did were both pretty much entirely towards the special ed department. We added basically for the traditional capstone or transitional capstone class that it needed to be IEP mandated and also going at the same time as VIP, which is our work study program. And then for VIP, we added that they must also apply to Michigan Rehabilitation Services, MRS, if they're going to be a part of that program, just to help facilitate the ease of all of that. Finally, the only other thing that occurred was we removed the pre-engineering and MCAP classes from there just because they're no longer being offered through UM Flint, so we don't really have a way to facilitate them anymore.
Are you going to talk about the new courses specifically then, Mr. Spear? The 2 courses?
It's my understanding in talking from Mr. Rod that those things were supplied or presented to you, and if not, then like I said, I can make sure I speak with her and have that information.
No, they were.
At this time,
yes,
I
we
don't
have
anything
that.
additional.
Yep, okay, so yes, the board does have that. I just want to confirm that you have both courses in front of you. That is the strength class for 8th grade and also the advanced chemistry. And if there are any questions at this time from the board.
Who's in charge of this? Who's the chairperson for this now, the curriculum? Mr. Terrius.
Yeah.
Technically back under communication.
Well, if we're gonna approve something, it's gotta be in work session. So where are we with this, Mrs.?
Well, we moved Mr. Spear to communication so that he could present. And then I do have a fact sheet as well to go along with the 2 courses.
So he's
And
just
that would be
discussing it
understood.
now and then we'll vote on it.
So then, after he was done, I was going to move to the fact sheet for the curriculum, for the 2
Work
courses.
session.
Yes.
Then we have to move to
So-
the session.
Are we asking our questions in communications, or are we asking them under work session?
Well, we can move to, he's present now, so we can move to the curriculum section.
Okay, works for me.
Okay?
So, Mr. Terrius.
Yes.
First off, one of the things that it said for the 8th grade strength course is that the students are going to be using the PLT4M app. How many students are currently using that right now? Do you know?
Yes. So currently, that is the app that is utilized in strength class. It is like a management program that they use to help track their weight loss goals and their exercise goals and things like that. Not weight loss, but their exercise goals and different just data logs they do. They meet with Mr. Ruby and talk about different things they use that to basically track their progress. So this is not necessarily a new thing so much as just clarifying that they will be utilizing it as well.
Correct, but if there were more students than a certain number, you're going to have to pay for it. So what would be the cost if you have to add? I mean, how many students are currently using it? How much room do we have to add 8th grade students to that? And is there going to possibly be a cost? What would it be if we had to add students? Because I don't think that was necessarily covered. Was that?
Very fair. I don't have the information for that, and I'm basically anything that you ask me that I don't have an answer to, I'm writing stuff down just so I can get that right to Mr. Rod and provide any follow-up as soon as possible. So that's a great question about the cost effectiveness of that. I can make sure to at least talk to Mr. Rod about how many students are currently using it so that we can get that total.
And then after the students complete the 1 semester course of strength, are they then going to be able to integrate in with the 9th through 12th grades in strength classes? Or, because it said it was just a 1 semester course, it's not, they can't repeat it, it didn't really say.
I would follow up with Mr. Rod, but it's my understanding that you can take strength twice, and so they would be able to take it a second time. And otherwise, it would be, like I said, they would not be able to take strength with 9 through 12 now.
Okay, because it did say that it was just a one semester course and it didn't say that it was gonna be repeated. So, if you're gonna do that, it just needs to make sure it's put into the, curriculum guide that way.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm happy to, like I said, I'm happy to get that clarity and follow up with you.
That was it, Mr. Terry.
That's a good question. Thank you, Ms. Fred.
Great questions, great questions.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna read over the fact sheet, if I could. So we have new high school course approval. No course of study shall be taught in schools unless it has been adopted by the board, policy 2220. Facts introduction to strength training for 8th grade students. This one semester course is an introduction to strength and conditioning. Students will learn techniques and fundamental movements designed to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Advanced chemistry in this 2-semester course. Students will continue exploring principles of chemistry in preparation for higher education in science. The course will include investigation through hands-on labs and real-world application. An introduction to organic and nuclear chemistry. Prereq is chemistry A and B.
Any discussion on that?
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Spear, for joining us. We really appreciate your time, and I'm glad you got home safely.
Thank you, Mr. Spear.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Spear.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Terry, can I just ask one more question?
Sure.
I just noticed that I had a note on this. Typically in the curriculum guide, they alternate courses. Some of the courses are alternated because they don't have enough that taken in 1 year. And that needs to be also indicated when the curriculum guide comes out. If they're alternating, which ones are being taken off throughout the following year.
Thank you.
Yep.
You're in finance, yes.
Finance is myself, Mrs. Smith, and welcome, Mr. Burns. And thank you for your service. Checks written. Do you have any questions? So, for those that look to serve on finance, we've been going through, at least we do at least 2, so it helps with the audits.
Oh, okay.
So, I prepared. 46939.
My check is to Pitney Bowes for postage meter for all buildings.
And then 46950.
That check is for Stera Cycle Inc. It is for shredding for all buildings as well.
All right, thank you. Take a moment, check through account balances. Any questions? Very good. Take a moment, check through student activity funds. Any questions? We will go to,
To go back to budget amendment,
yeah, so
we
we'll go back
wanted
to,
another communication now that
so we'll go back to
Kathy's here.
communications, go to budget amendment.
My apologies for being late. We'll have 6:30 meetings this week, and this one was at 6. My bad, I'm so sorry.
didn't know if we had a motion to end the work session to go back to curriculum. I don't know how that works. So, as long as we're good.
I don't think there's any issue with
Okay.
that, it's all in the same meeting. So, I mean, you're just jumping from one part of the agenda to the other.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Something to officially close communication, so, to go into workshop, so I don't see a problem, as long as there's noted in the minutes.
Make a note that
Yeah. We'll go back.
communication.
I don't think this has ever happened to me.
No, I mean,
Just so we're clear
Excellent.
for it, this has not happened.
it's the government, it's gotta be ready.
Yeah. Magnifying.
Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith. While they're setting that up, you still have to go back to the communication superintendent search. Ms. Vaughn said that you had the info for that, so we skipped over that one as well.
For superintendent.
Superintendent search,
We're
you're
gonna
gonna
provide
have to do that after this.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
It's like an hour and a half Friday.
You're safe.
This has been a day.
Think of all the gas you save by just lying on the ice.
When I
the
saw
way you
Adam,
are.
I
I was like,
hit
whoa,
36
Adam's
and I was excited.
I'm tired.
Get the policy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this is gonna be a little unique, trying to navigate, we're trying our new technology where we can, cast, presentations, and share this with the viewers, at home as well. So I'm using Colin's up top, and I'm gonna try to read from mine as well. All right, so, I wanted to, this is also in your drive, I loaded it, a revised version of this at about 5 o'clock, tonight. I just thought I would kind of just go through the bottom line and then dial into any questions or, deeper if we need to. So I wanted to review, the past, present, and future, with you. So our original budget, at June of 2024, is as follows. It was at 12.71%. The proposed, or the adopted amendment, was in the next column here at 10.83%. Then in June, we had 20.82%. Then the approved budget, based off of that information, was 21%. I wanted to focus on the final audit, as we reviewed in October. The actual was 15.43%. So here we are today, so that's the past, here's the present. Our proposed fiscal year 26 budget amendment, and this is based on information that we know today, which, mind you, keeps changing every day. I do keep track of all the changes every day, all the ins and outs, the good and the not so good. I don't want to say bad, it's all fine. So here we are, we have, our revenue, with our existing, I'm so sorry, I can't see this. Okay. Our revenues for our local sources, state sources, federal, and our, transfers, come to 18,790,000. I did make, another column that I'll talk about in just a few minutes. And then just going through all of the, expenses, the instruction, basic programs, the added needs, and so on, brings our expenses down to, 18,683,000. So resulting from the audit, we had a surplus of $168,000 $62,253. And with our proposed budget amendment, we are presenting a surplus of $107,123 and a fund balance of 14.9%. We have some things on the table here on our AEA admin requests, which we'll go into further detail. There is quarterly MIPSRS payments that we receive. We've only received one quarter so far. We're expected to receive 3 more quarters, of course, and we do have some miscellaneous revenues that we're expecting to come in. I was just notified day before yesterday, we have an $8,000 GSRP transportation carryover. So that is looking like another $138,000 in revenue. This is our tentative agreement with the AEA. From our original add-in list, we have our special ed conferences. This is tabled until next year.
Just a note on that, for the counseling, that was to get some extra assistance for counseling at the high school for post-secondary, working with our seniors. Unfortunately, there are no other counselors available, so that was an update. So we took out the $6,300, but we wanted to be, as accurate as we could with the budget limit.
The price, the quote we were given for marketing. The part-time central office assistant at half a year, as we're in January now. Building and site, we added an additional possible of $27,000.
And that is for high school carpet, to replace the media center carpet.
$7,600 for a leaf blower and track maintenance. We were gonna discuss a $7,000 set aside, either starting this year, anyway. It's earmarked for this year, and a $600 leaf blower. And then Zach came back with another adjustment to a part-time athletic director assistant. A total of $260,687, and that puts us at for this request of another $122,000. So with these two netted together, it brings our total to a negative $15,584. And I want to emphasize things change every day. We just submitted a grant for Section 41 for $16,000. And they had already, slated that Almont Community Schools would get that amount, so it's a pretty sure thing that we're gonna get that. So, without including that, we're looking at 13.94%.
Kathy, when do you want that grant?
Within a few weeks, yeah. The deadline is today, so usually within a month. Then this is a preliminary fiscal year 27 projections. And I apologize, I forgot to mention that our original enrollment projection was 1346 at 10,000 per pupil. Our blended enrollment is 1355.4, and of course the per pupil foundation is 10,050. So I use that same enrollment and projection for next year. I have backup to support these increases. Overall, it's a very conservative, not even a 1% increase in revenue for next year. Then going through, this total course includes the tentative agreement with the AEA. I did ask our payroll department to provide me what the increase is going to be to our insurance cap, and that was recently published, so that'll be a 2.3% increase to our insurance cap. And then I just estimated across the board, overall, 3% increase to the lower step, and we know for sure we're gonna have some retirees, replacements, some moving around in the AEA. I did include the special ed conferences. Kind of the same marketing from last, or, this year. 3% increase here across the board. And here's the big one, the Wi-Fi and Chromebook refresh. We did receive confirmation from Brandon that the $70,000 Wi-Fi upgrade and the $100,000 per year Chromebook refresh can be postponed to fiscal year '27. Having said that, that brings our balance to negative 128, and that's due to the Chromebook Wi-Fi refresh, which brings our fund balance to 13.28%. So, like I said, I was very conservative on the revenue side. And I just wanted to show if we went a little more, less conservative. In the past, we've averaged about 1.5% increase in revenue, which is an additional $111,000, which would come very close to the shortfall here for '27.
Mrs. Merrifield,
Yes.
the flip side of that is that our student enrollment has been a little on the decline, though, so we would take the hit there.
Our hope is, our assumption is that with our 2 GSRP classrooms, that we'll be able to retain new kindergartners, and that will help cover the seniors exiting. I think we have 92 seniors graduating this year. We have over 100 kindergartners right now. So, I know we analyzed our enrollment, pre-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID, and we are kind of plateauing to where we were pre-COVID numbers. So we're optimistic that with those things in place, and it's so important, the things we do, like yesterday and today affects tomorrow. We all are very mindful of that. So we're all here together to try to be very wise about these decisions and planning for the future always.
Thank you.
But does anyone have any questions or input?
Yeah, for sure. So going back to the position for athletic assistants, we're trying to figure, the best way to show some support and ensure safety for that, for that position for our students. And so we do have, a recommendation here that this individual would be helping out, especially in the evenings with sporting events, and helping out with supervision. Could even be ticket taking, or taking tickets if needed. But this would be a benefit in so many ways, because as you know, right now, currently, Mr. Zimmerman also serves as the Dean of Students. So this would free up his time so that he's able to attend school first thing in the morning and service our students as the Dean of Students if he had some additional help in the evening. So the thought is to potentially to attract somebody who might be interested in securing some, or providing that supervision and helping us out in the evenings with a stipend of $5,000 per semester. So that is something that we would like to recommend at this time. Kathy, do you want to?
I think it's important for everybody to hear what we heard at finance the other night, so.
For sure.
Understand
Absolutely, yes,
what's
absolutely,
being asked.
for sure. So central office position, Kathy, do you want to talk about, and I did.
Cool.
Yes, yeah. Kathy provided an update there for just how she envisions this would be somebody who would be helping out Kathy with her role and responsibilities, and it's a breakdown of what you would like to see for additional assistance. It is a part-time position, 20 hours.
So I'll try to keep it brief, because it's a few pages long, but,
Just,
yep,
summarize.
so in summary, the overview, is the central office is experiencing a sustained increase in workload resulting from expanded district needs, additional compliance requirements, a higher service expectation from staff, families, and state and federal agencies. The current staffing levels no longer align with the operational demands placed on the department. We did hear from the auditors when they were here in their presentation. So just to touch briefly on some of the specifics, the increased workload and capacity constraints, the impact on service quality, compliance and mandated responsibilities, and I shared with the finance committee that every time you see that there's a grant, there is an increased reporting requirement, compliance requirement, just monitoring. It's very labor intensive anytime you see a grant. There's a lot of watching for those. And we're always looking for new grants as well. And we talked about ROI, about return on investment for this position. They would also be able to keep searching for more grants. So again, that's compliance and mandated responsibilities, efficiency and cost avoidance. Like we always want to be efficient, and we don't want to make any errors or miss anything. The employee well-being and stability, we want to align this with district priorities. The projected impact of additional staffing is faster response times for staff, families, and building leadership, improved accuracy in financial, HR, and compliance-related tasks, increased organizational stability and reduced turnover risk, greater capacity to support district initiatives and strategic goals, a sustained workload that maintains high performance across all administrative functions. I did create a position summary, essential duties and responsibilities that include general accounting and financial operations, credit card and purchasing card processing, grant accounting and monitoring, food service fund compliance. There is a lot of reporting with food service. In fact, every 5 years, well, last year was my very first RFP for food service contract, and that was very labor intensive. This year is an AR procurement and administrative review, where the state of Michigan is coming to our district in March, and they're going to inspect our records and our kitchens. So that there was a lot of reporting for that as well. Special ed, special education, financial compliance, again, a lot of reports, a lot of compliance that we could really use some help with. As that need in our district is growing ever more so. Reporting and collaboration, preparing financial schedules, analysis. We want to have our hands on and eyes on everything, all the changes going on, which there are a lot. Required qualifications, we're looking for a bachelor's degree in accounting, finance, or related field. Experience in governmental or fund accounting, preferably in public school setting. Knowledge of GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, and public sector accounting standards. Experience with bank reconciliations, accounts receivable, and fund reporting. Strong attention to detail and organizational skills. We've listed our preferred qualifications, skills and abilities, working conditions, etc. Anyone have any questions?
It's very good. We'll leave this on. So who would And then what do you, so is the breakdown for this position 100% in the financial in the office? So like no HR or anything like that, or just finance?
A little bit of HR.
There would be a little bit
Yes,
of HR?
yes.
Okay. So maybe 90/10, 80/20? If you guys have
90/10.
90/10.
Mhm.
If there's an emergency, they can help out, but
Yes.
otherwise, very financial. Okay.
Yeah, and one thing I did mention is very important to us to cross-train, and we are not able to 100% do that right now.
Okay.
The other one I would want to make mention, also because it's a little bit of a bigger ticket number there, and that's the marketing piece. I feel like, especially, working with and running and facilitating the committee forums and getting some feedback there, making sure that the right messaging goes out is going to be, I think, instrumental for whether we're going to be going out for that non-homestead renewal millage, which we will. That's going to be that's going to be mandatory, that we'll run for that. And then also proceeding toward a sinking fund or a bond. And so to have the right messaging out, and just, with our, our history of our two failed bonds and our failed sinking fund, we want to make sure that we have clear, concise communication out to our community. So it is my strong recommendation that a marketing plan and allocation be considered. The reason why it's $12,500, I have been reaching out in exploring which firms would best, assist us in getting that done. And attending a superintendent's conference this past fall, I was able to make a very strong connection with K-12 media, and that would be my recommendation to, recommend this package with them. It comes with just as a starter package, a 1-minute video promo, 4 30-second video clips, thumbnails, and they assist not only with just digital, because we know that we're not just reaching, we wouldn't be able to reach all of our audience that we're trying to reach out in the community, but they would also help us, whether it's newspaper or, mailings even, to get into our voters' hands. So it would be, the full package. And that is both in helping us with the non-homestead millage, that, hoping that that would be placed on the August ballot moving forward, and then potential November 2026 ballot for a sinking fund or a bond.
Mrs. Vaughn?
Yes.
Or Ms. Merrifield, too. Are we double counting that in both the amended ask for this budget, and then you had it in the projection for 27? Or is that? Because it wouldn't be 12.5 both years, would it?
No, 12, that's a one-time for this year.
But I'm carrying that over from the ask list into the next year. Yeah, you're right. All right, so it is just 1 year?
It would just,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, there you
Yes.
go. Done.
Hey,
It makes that number look better.
that's a good
Yes.
catch.
And that's why we want your input.
Now, with that said, I don't know if I would zero that out if we're being
Okay.
fully transparent,
Yeah, I don't know
because you
what
would
the deal
probably
is.
want continued mailers and communication.
Yeah.
Yes, so I believe there'd be probably more, but it wouldn't be necessarily a 12.5 ticket item, but you would definitely want to budget for communications.
Sure.
Especially, that's one of our goals that we pulled out from our strategic plan workshop too. So just my 2 cents there. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Burns.
Mrs. Smith? I know that in December, when Mr. Bruno was here, we talked about doing Chromebooks on a cart so that we wouldn't have to refresh so many Chromebooks. Did we ever hear back from him? He was gonna get with his staff and,
When we talked to the finance element for you, Anna.
Go ahead.
That's, without having for us for a survey company, without knowing what we're doing. And right, that would be all done if we went forward with it. We don't know if that's what we will have to do.
Right.
We plan to do that.
Thank you. Yes.
You can speak for them.
No, just that I'm following up with Mr. Bruno to kind of, corner his staff to see what that use really is. But our general sense, as you saw from the surveys, is that they're being utilized.
Mrs. Smith, for the part-time athletic director assistants for the half year, if you look at the AA contract, above the salary schedule, it does say that you can open up for a scheduled position without opening the contract specific, so we may want to check to see if that falls under where we have to get it approved through AEA for that position as well.
If it was gonna be a Schedule B, or
If it was-
otherwise
if
it could
it
be a
was a schedule-
stipend position.
If it was gonna be a Schedule B, if it was something that we wanted to do yearly, and it would be, teachers would be the first
So you
wave
have
of,
dibs on that.
to go through these, then they may also have a say in terms of, what scale that is, what percentage. So I would just verify with them, because I would also think maybe, instead of semesters, think maybe seasons, because then you could get, because somebody might be available, if they're available now, they may not be available in the fall, depending on the schedule, so, you know, if you start semester, they could be available through January 20th, which is a semester, which then puts them, but not available for maybe a second person that goes through, so they may be setting up for basketball for the first part, but then they're not setting up for basketball for the second part, and we may not have somebody. But if you have somebody on a season, fall season, winter season, and then scale it back in terms of the 5,000.
But
But again,
fall,
I-
winter, spring.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it was maybe making this position like attractive enough to offer potential larger stipend to solicit the interest, but I can ask.
the main thing is verify with AEA based on the contract language that's already in there, that if we have to go through that route.
Yeah, my understanding that I didn't know that it had to be a Schedule B. I didn't walk away from it that it had to be a Schedule B. I didn't know if it was
I
just
think
going
the
to be a stipend.
conversation we had on Monday was that you had said that
It could be.
we couldn't open the contract, but the language in there says specifically that it doesn't have to be
No,
open.
I'm just, we're just in a wage reopener is what I said. We're in a wage reopener. Okay. So yes, I can go back and I can see.
And then, Kathy, it's hopefully, my catch here will be better than Mr. Burns' catch.
Oh, please.
Because right next to the athletic director assistants, it says $570,000, 216. If that's the wage, can I apply? I don't know if it's carried over.
What line are you?
Yeah, which one is it?
Yeah, which column and line are you on?
Yes, please.
In the 27 projection,
That's the
Okay.
one that says breath. Mine's not.
To AHR.
That's adding,
so it's,
the two together.
oh, okay, so it's,
It's adding the total of,
just check.
total athletics plus the 5,000. It was 465 plus the 5,000 is 470.
Gotcha. Bummer. Don't want retirement.
So the assistant to the athletic director position, is the goal to look for an existing staff member that would take that role on so that like we have someone reputable, or are we going out to look for someone brand new to the district to come into that role at night?
I think always the hope is that maybe we could have a staff member who would want to step into that role, especially if we go through Schedule B.
Right.
That would be the hope,
Okay.
but it just depends, right? It depends on who's going to, I guess, be interested in that position. And if that did work out, my understanding from that conversation is that maybe it could become a stipend, and that's why we were thinking by semester.
Okay.
So unless I misunderstood from that committee meeting, but that's my takeaway.
So this is since it's the budget matter in our communications, this is open for everybody, so if you have any questions in terms of this. Mrs. Smith, that was to you for communications for
Superintendent
search.
All right, for superintendent search, I did get, late last night, I got a proposal from MASC, and then I'm also working with legal. He had, a recommendation for a company, I think you had, suggested.
MLI?
Yeah, MLI.
That's Michigan Leadership Institute.
Yeah, so, I'm getting in contact with them, I'll get that information, and then I will get it to the rest of the board. So, it's still a work in progress at this time. The timeline looks like about 12 to 14 weeks
12 to 14 weeks to hire somebody.
So when I have more information, I'll make sure I get it to everybody. Okay? Where are we at now?
I know, we're gonna go to policy, I think, I believe, is
Did
that right?
you have the approval on the budget amendment?
No, that was under communications.
Okay, okay, there's no approval on it.
So we move to policy, resignation, retirements. The Board of Education may agree to a resignation, retirement at any time after replacement, if necessary, suitable to the school administration and the board's obtained, provided that the circumstances underlying the resignation or retirement are valid in the opinion of the board and warrant a search for replacement. Kimberly Von Hiltmeyer has submitted her resignation as superintendent of Almont Community Schools effective June 30th, 2026. Adam Bruno has submitted his resignation as principal of Orchard Primary School effective June 30th, 2026. Noelle Graver has submitted notice of her retirement as 8th grade math teacher effective June 8th, 2026. Nicole Hallman has resigned from her position as special ed paraprofessional at Orchard Primary effective December 17th, 2025.
Ms. Smith. I move the Board of Education accept the resignation of Kimberly Von Hiltmeyer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Conversations.
sorry.
Good practice.
Good practice for-
No, we've all switched around, so it's kind of.
All
good.
Jamie and I, and Leo.
Everybody's good?
You're invited out for
There's
this.
one, yeah.
You're taking over the reins. Let you do your thing.
New hires, the Board of Education approves all personnel. Ms. Lewis is pleased to recommend Isabella North as special education instructor for Almont Middle School. A recent graduate of Almont College, Isabella's enthusiasm for serving students is apparent and made her the standout candidate. Mr. Bruno is pleased to recommend Summer Jacobson for the role of special ed paraprofessional at Orchard Primary. Mr. Bruno is looking forward to the experience and positive energy she will bring to the role. Mr. Bruno is pleased to recommend Mitchell Joe for the role of special ed paraprofessional at Orchard Primary. Mitchell has served Orchard Primary in a custodial role, and his ability to build relationships with students will be valuable in his new position.
I had a question, Ms. Smith, about Ms. North. There's a question about moving the MOSI and certified. Is her intention to be in the autism class, or is MOSI kind of a general umbrella for it?
So, her certification is special education is her degree. Special education, SM, stands for learning disabilities, specifically. She has plans to enroll in a master's program through Alma College to receive her CI, her cognitively impairment endorsement. And right now, we house the MOSI program at the Alma Middle School, which also would service autism students if that's where they are placed.
Okay. She does not require a specialty in autism, if that's.
She does not have to have that, no.
Right.
Our program is a MOSI program. And that was, and just so, Mr. Director, I don't know if you saw that, but I did respond in the, also the Q&A document. Just want to make sure that you saw that as well. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. You guys all set? Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on. Just a school of choice update. The January school of choice enrollment window is currently open and will close at 3 p.m. on January 16th, 2026. Almont Community Schools is accepting applications for students in first and 6 through 12 grades only. And we will provide further detail after the window is closed. Approval of overnight trips. The Board of Education approves all student trips which require an overnight stay or out-of-state travel, policy 2340. There are trips that several of our student groups may get invited to attend that require a quick response. This motion will allow Mr. Zimmerman or Mrs. Von Hiltmeyer to approve the request and respond in a more time-efficient manner to the invitations. Thank you. And policy update, the board adopts bylaws and policies for organization and operation of the board and district. Bylaws and policies may be adopted, amended, and repealed at any meeting of the board, provided the proposed adoption, amendment, or repeal shall have been proposed at a previous board meeting, and once proposed shall have remained on the agenda of each succeeding board meeting until approved or rejected. Bylaw 0131.1, the superintendent and policy committee have provided the following recommendation. This is the first read. This is for policy 1042.3. Past and present Board of Education members, if applicable, will have the privilege of personally presenting their child with their diploma at the high school graduation ceremony.
Table if we're just gonna give the superintendent and the athletic director approval to do.
I'll just have a general policy instead of having it come up.
Yeah, just have to like maybe change the policy to where the superintendent and the whoever needs to have that role can have that role, because I think this is the third time since I've been on the board in a year and a half that we've just said like, yeah, they're good to do it. And so then that will just eliminate that from agendas in the future.
Yep.
Unless if someone can think of a reason why the board would need to approve it over the superintendent.
Mrs. Smith? Yeah, when people are going to a foreign country and all of a sudden there's unrest in a foreign country, the board needs to be involved because litigation could happen with the entire board. So I think that it's something that, the board is expected to be proven and be knowledgeable about as they make decisions.
Right, I don't mind being knowledgeable on it, I just, like, this is the third time that we've just said like, hey, let the staff handle it, basically, so like, we're not being knowledgeable, I guess, on it, we're just giving them approval to do it for the remainder of the
Right,
year,
it's
so.
like a blanket approval.
Right, yeah, so like, I mean, like, the policy can have, like, they have to like, let us know about it.
You're
but-
saying you do a blanket approval through policy, you're saying making sure that the board is knowledgeable about any terms.
Right.
And I think both of those are important,
Yeah.
to figure out how to do them.
We did do a specific approval for Mrs. Blum's trip,
Yeah.
international trip. So
Because we had enough time. to
maybe
do
there's a
it, yeah.
distinction, of
Yeah,
international versus just an overnight trip
right,
within the area.
yeah.
We can put it on the policy.
Yeah, we can add it.
And dig into it.
Yep.
See what would be best for
Yeah,
Okay.
the purpose for this is generally for those where, we have something come up, or an opportunity comes up where, a student, qualifies for state finals or a trip, and we've already had our board meeting.
Right.
So it allows them the opportunity to approve that, should there be an overnight trip, without having to call a board meeting. We prefer to know these opportunities, as we've had the Greece trips, the overseas, band trips, cross-country camps, cheer camps, those types of things that come up where, we've been given the time, we've been approved.
Right, sure. Thank you, Mr. Eckert. I move the Board of Education move into the closed session at 7:06 PM.
Support?
Motion and support, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I didn't know if they did that correct, I'm sorry.
If that's possible.
Mr. Burrow, can we amend your motion?
Well, we can exit the closed session.
Huh?
We just exit the closed session.
Yeah, so can you end closed session?
Mrs. Smith,
Mr. Burrow?
I move the Board of Education, go back into open session.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're gonna move up, questions and comments from the audience. I need somebody to make a motion to do that.
Mrs. Smith,
Mr. Eckert?
I move that we go to questions and comments from the audience.
Support.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, questions and
I
comments?
thank you very much. I got a couple things. Number one, when you're talking about the athletic director and the assistant, whatever you want to call the person, anything, any consideration at all, at some point in time, you could give some consideration to splitting those up and having
and it's been carried over, and I can't even tell you how many APs that we've had, since we made that change. After when Gary retired, then we went to all these other athletic directors. I mean, we don't keep them. They can't take it. So just as a thought, I mean, this may be, this would really help if you had somebody who worked the evening thing, so that you could come in, or he or she, whoever the dean, students, and kids at the time, can come in, do the thing with the kids, and then do the athletic directorship as well, but then go home, in the afternoon, just like everybody else does. So that's just food for thought at some point in time. That would be really, really good. Because I know, I see, Zach quite a few times in his evening, football and basketball. And but that's, I mean, he might, stay away. It's a long day. So, anyway, the second one is on the finance, and I have a hard time seeing that screen and everything. Did I understand you to say that your budget number for this year is the deficit budget?
But we have some requests on the table, that would bring it to a negative 15,000. But we were just informed today that we submitted another grant for 16,000.
Yeah, but what's the grant for?
Section 41, part of the
So that money has
to be used, it's in-out money, has to be used for bilingual. So you can use $16,000 this year.
It's fiscal year 25.
Right, but it's gotta be, whatever you use this year, if you spend 5,000, you only get 5,000, you only count 5,000.
Right.
So you don't get to use it all for this year's budget.
And there's more grants that we're gonna be seeking,
But most grants are in and out, you've gotta
Yeah.
add something to take care of it, so it doesn't take care of the negative number.
yeah, so
And-
negative 15,000
Yeah,
then.
and I guess then the other one is for next year, you proposed, not the first shot at a budget for next year.
Right.
Sounded like it was a little bit larger as a negative deficit. And I guess I would be a little concerned that, if we're going with a higher number of students, because I don't think that was the way Stanford did their proposal. I think it went down again, didn't
So
it?
the same.
And, I'm just concerned that, we're gonna end up like last year where we had to put an adjustment at the end of the year, and it's not a positive adjustment. I think we need to stay, keep us close to that 15% profit, or not profit, I shouldn't say that, fund balance as we can. And so I think that we need to really take a look at our expenditures this year and what we're proposing for next year to try to come up at least as a zero. That's all I have.
Thanks for coming out.
And I'm gonna go call school.
Any other questions? None. Okay, that's it.
Night all.
Good night, drive safe.
Mrs. Smith,
Mr. Burrow.
I move the Board of Education move into a closed session at 7:12 PM.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.